Welcome everyone to this session, and good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And Today I'll be taking you through an application of agentic AI or generative AI in the financial domain called FinSage, which is we also call as trading Copilot. So before I start, let me give a very brief introduction to myself. My name is Bhaskarjit. I work as a principal data scientist at BlackRock, where I build AI ML models to predict financial markets. And since last almost 18 months now, I've been building Gen AI solution for generating trading signals. And That's what I will share with you today. And also, this session is for half an hour, and we will go through the first 20 minutes. I will take you through the solution, and then last 10 minutes we'll have for Q&A. So I think you are not able to speak, but I definitely like to take your questions. So whenever you have any question, please feel free to post those questions in the chat in the Q&A box, and I'll take up those questions towards the end of this session. So let me just share my screen. Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen. So when I'm here to present FinSage, which is a trading co-pilot, and this entire work, is inspired from this research called FinMem, a performance-enhanced LLM trading agent. So here, what is the exact problem that we are trying to solve? I mean, let's imagine if you are a trader and you're managing a portfolio of, let's say, 100 securities. And as a trader, you generally take a decision whether to sell a particular security from your portfolio or hold, or whether you want to buy a new security to be added into your portfolio. You take those kind of a decision on a daily basis. And before you take this kind of a decision, you go through a lot of different information. Let's say you might go through some news articles related to that security, using Bloomberg Terminal, or for example, you talk to your portfolio manager, or you talk to other traders on the floor, you talk to traders on the Wall Street. You look into the prices data. You look into a lot of different data sources. And imagine if you have to do it for all the securities in your portfolio, then how much time consuming in this process will be. So that's what we're trying to automate the process of information discovery, or we are trying to reduce the cognitive overload experienced by traders, where we are trying to generate insights at a much faster rate using generative AI. And then using this generative AI, we are trying to generate those information or insights so that we can remove those noise from the signals, and then trader can take a decision based on those signals, or based on insights that we generate from those data coming from different data sources. So here, so the values of this, or driving values of this trading copilot, is we are trying to simplify the complex processes by delivering real-time qualitative and quantitative insights. Then this is tailored for every trader. We can adapt it to any kind of trader from any kind of asset class, whether it is stocks or bonds or private markets, or it is also it is not only we're generating some insight, but we are also delivering a reliable and robust information. I mean, generally, as you know, that there are a lot of different types of risk that this AI applications goes through. For example, hallucination, or for example, generating copyrighted information and so on. So how do you take care of those risks, or how do you know when to trust and when not to trust the output that is being generated by this application? So we're also delivering those output with much reliability. So how to use FinSage? So here, as soon as you go, I will provide a demo towards the end of the session. But here, this is the generic idea that as you go to use this tool, you have to first go through some profiling. So here we have decided on some trading profile based on risk tolerance, what time horizon you are trying to trade the security for, what is your investment style. So in the UI, from the UI, you can select whatever your risk tolerance is, or are you trading for short term, medium term, long term, or what is your investment style? So this is what we call as the trading profile, because depending on your trading profile, the recommendation that we might get from this trading Copilot will be different. And then what kind of questions you can ask? You can ask any question related to stock performance, insights for trading decision, then market impact of any political news, any key financial factors. So those are the questions you can ask to this tool. And here, how this is working under the hood. So it is a multi-agent, workflow. Here we have multiple different agents, and all of those multiple different agents are supervised by this supervisor agent, which orchestrates the entire analysis workflow. And then we have four different individual or specific agent. One is the financial metric agent, which handles the core financial statement analysis, like the company details, valuation metrics. Then we have a news sentiment agent, which extracts or monitors the real-time news from third-party news providers, like, for example, Yahoo Finance, and we do sentiment analysis. Then the third one is the market intelligence agent, where it helps you to provide technical analysis or any other market dynamics or trading patterns. Then we have another agent, which is the SQL agent. So SQL agent is for handling the historical data, to perform any data analysis on the historical data. And then the synthesizer agent, which is responsible for collecting all the information from those four individual agents together, and then it takes the final decision for what decision we should take, whether should I sell or hold any security in the portfolio. And then we are also doing evaluation with reflection, that when to trust and when not to trust the output. So here again, I'll not go through entire details of every agent, but here is a very brief idea about what this market intelligence agent is capable of doing. It basically oversees the market's technical signals, track everything from insider trading to insider trading moves to support and resistance levels. And we define two different tools, like get insider transactions and get stock aggregates. And we get this information from this API that we're using under the hood. For example, to get insider transaction, we're using Alpha Vantage API. And to get the stock aggregates, we use Polygon.io API. So we are using multiple different third-party APIs, and we're connecting those third-party APIs to fetch this real-time data and send it to the large language model for analysis. Then the second agent is financial metrics agent. So this agent is actually the backbone of this entire tool, the trading Copilot or the FinSage. And here, this agent is capable of analyzing the stock price. So first, it fetches the stock price, the real-time stock price. Then it fetches the company financial, income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, and its history. And then based on top of this data, it generates its commentary, what it thinks about my question that I'm asking, whether to buy or hold, and it gives you a recommendation based on those information after it analyzes this information. Then again, here we're using this data. We're fetching this data from this financial modeling prep API. Again, this is an open source third-party API from where we fetch all of this information. And then the next agent is the news sentiment agent. So in the news sentiment agent, we extract two different types of news. One is the company news itself, and another one is the sentiment industry news. That means for which industry this company belongs to. And then we also compare both the company news and the industry news together and generate news sentiments across different topics. And here we get company news from this API, event registry API. Again, this is an open source tool to extract company news. And again, the industry news also we get it from event registry. And the last one is the SQL agent. So SQL agent is just for analyzing any historical data that you might have for any historical data analysis, to perform any historical data analysis for those particular securities that you have in your portfolio. And Then the last one is, I mean, this is how the this is the graphical design of this entire multi-agent workflow. I'm just keeping this to show you the demo right now. And before I come to the next steps, let me show you the demo, how this tool actually looks like. So this is the landing page of FinSage. And once you log in here, you can start your financial journey. Click on start your financial journey. And then you can select your investment profile. So this is your profile of the trader. So let's say, for example, your risk tolerance is, let's say, aggressive. Your time horizon is, let's say, long term, and your investment style is, let's say, growth. And let's imagine, you're asking any question related to any security that you have in a portfolio. Let's talk about Nvidia, for example, because Nvidia has been, very volatile in the last couple of months. Even after the release of the news about DeepSeek, Nvidia lost a few $1 billion in its market cap. So maybe we can start with asking question. Okay, let's say you have this Nvidia in your stock in your portfolio. You can ask a question like, shall I sell or hold Nvidia? So as soon as you ask this question, then you see the first agent that got fired up is the financial matrix agent. And as soon as it gets fired up, then it created a step-by-step planning. So here we're under the hood, we're also using the planning capability of this language model that we have designed in the prompt itself. And it is going through this step-by-step plan. Okay, we'll fetch the current market metrics using the get stock price, then company context using get company financial function, then analyze financial statements using the cash flow statement, balance sheet, and income statement. And again, we'll use get earnings history to review historical earnings trends and surprises. And then it is, based on this plan, now it is starting to execute the plan. So now it is, it is taking an action by calling this, functions, get stock price, then company financial, and then get income statement, etc. And once it fetches all of this information, then it is already coming up with its own comprehensive financial analysis of Nvidia, like what is the current price of Nvidia, what is the current market cap. These are all real time. I mean, you can double check if the values are matching or not. These are all real time. Which industry, which sector, what is the beta, etc. Then the second one is the financial statement analysis, where you can find out the revenue, gross profit, net income, EPS, net income margin for the last 3 years, from 2023 till this year in 2025. And then you also get information related to valuation assessment, growth and risk analysis, and so on. So you can and then at last you get the conclusion. Now imagine this, doing all of this analysis on your own, how much time consuming process it would have been for you. Now using just in a few seconds only, we're getting the insight. And now along with the insight, this financial metric agent is also giving you some kind of a conclusion. It says, based on the comprehensive analysis, it is recommended to hold Nvidia. It says the company's robust growth, strong financial health, the market position outweighed the concerns regarding its high valuation risks, and so on. But again, this is not the final recommendation. This is just one agent. Now the next agent which got fired up is the news and sentiment agent. And here it is fetching company news about Nvidia. And then it is also fetching industry news. That means Nvidia belongs to semiconductor industry, AI, also AI and technology industry. It is also fetching the industry news as well. And right now, we have, we're fetching all the real-time news, which makes up, till 50 news articles so far. And it will go through all of those recent 50 news articles. And then it will find out, okay, what is the overall sentiment? So if you see here, these are the 5 different categories: bullish, somewhat bullish, neutral, somewhat bearish, and bearish. And if you see, 3 are very bullish, 30 are somewhat bullish, and 17 are neutral. And we're also doing this sentiment on, for different topics as well, or different, what is a aspect. This is also known as aspect-based sentiment analysis. And I mean, again, you can imagine, like, if you have to go through this 50 different articles on your own, how much time consuming process it would have been. But now it is able to do this exercise or do this sentiment analysis within just few seconds, and it is giving you the overall sentiment score, which is 0.179. So the range is from -1 to +1. So because it is around 0.7179, it is a neutral to positive sentiment. And then it is giving you some additional insights like trading application, risk factors, catalyst events, etc. And then at last, it is also giving you some kind of conclusion saying that based on the current news sentiment, it is recommended to hold NVIDIA. So second agent is also giving the same recommendation. Then the next agent is the market intelligence agent. And it is fetching all the insider transaction information and stock aggregate information from Alpha Vantage API. And then based on this, and you see these are all real time information. I can see this is from today, this date, and then these are some recent price movements from the last week. And based on this information, again, I'm not going through each and every insights, but I'm just showing you the conclusion. So based on this insider trading patterns also and the technical indicators, it is recommended to hold NVIDIA. The company's strong fundamentals and growth potential in AI sector overweights the risk associated with the market volatility and regulatory risk in a story, and so on. So now you see, I'm not I'm not replacing trader here. So I'm just helping trader to reduce the cognitive load a trader have to go through. I mean, imagine all of this different information if they had to go through on their own for all the stocks, for all the securities in your portfolio. It will have taken a lot of time, and that's exactly what we're automating. We call it as automating, or automating the information discovery or insight discovery. And at last, you get all the insights and the conclusion. So the last agent, which is the synthesizer agent, which will combine all of this individual agents information and show the output to you. So this is the final conclusion, which says, given the current analysis and your investment profile, which is aggressive risk tolerance, long-term horizon, investment style growth, it is advisable to hold NVIDIA stock. The company's strong market position and growth potential in the AI sector outweigh the risk associated with market volatility and regulatory scrutiny. So now this is again up to the trader now, what whether they want to use this information while taking a decision or not. But we are crunching all of this different information from different data sources and giving meaningful insight or actionable insights. But at the same time, I also mentioned that we're not only generating output, we're also generating some kind of responsibility. I mean, how do you know whether this tool? I mean, one of the challenges when you build any agentic workflow is agentic AI is how do you make sure that whatever multiple tools you're calling, are calling those tools correctly or not, or whatever question you're asking or related to a topic ABC, is LLM answering any question from any another topic, let's say XYZ. So here evaluation is very important, and that's what we have tried to do. We have tried to use this concept of tool usage evaluation, that whatever tool we have used in this entire multi-agent workflow, are all of those tools are called or not, or is there any error while calling those tools or not? Because sometimes in an agentic workflow, if you have idea about React or any other prompting technique in agentic workflows, it might go through in a repetitive loop, or it might give you some kind of an error, or it might completely ignore the tool that you use, and the language model might use its own intelligence to generate an output. So here we're giving a kind of an information that all of these tools in this new sentiment agent, are they getting called? If they're getting called, how many times it has been getting called? An ideal case is only one, because if it is calling more than one time, that means it is going in an infinite loop. And also if there is any error or not. So right now it is no error. Then similarly, we get the same list for all the agents that we have. This is for new sentiment agent, this is for metric agent, and so on. So using this information, we can get more information about trustworthiness about this output. And also the second one is the trustworthiness, topic adherence evaluation. That means the new sentiment, whatever output is being generated, does this addresses the user's question or not? status. So this is what tells you whether the status is true or false. So to some extent, we can use this kind of an evaluation to make it more trustworthy. But again, this is just a first version of FinSage. But in future, what we plan to do, we plan to, as a next step, we plan to add some long-term memory. So long-term memory in the sense, right now, if you go to FinSage and if you talk to this tool, it will not remember your conversation like what you see in ChatGPT. Because if you want, and that is actually important to have, because if you think about using this tool for all the different types of traders, let's say you are a trader in equities market or you're a trader in fixed income market, then every trader, they generally are belonging to one particular asset class. So if I'm a trader in fixed income, then the chatbot or this agentic AI should understand my questions over a period of time, and it should give me responses which are tailored to my domain. So that we will be capable of adding that only when we add this memory integration. We can, once we integrate the memory in this tool. So that is one of the next steps. The second next step is about adding LangGraph. So this entire application we have built using LangGraph. So maybe we can use LangGraph MapReduce to make parallel execution to reduce the latency a bit more, and also a human in the loop process, so that a human, for example, right now the trader cannot control the thought process that the language model has been going through under the hood. So language model is building its own plan, and based on this plan, it is going through this analysis. So let's say if the trader does not believe does not agree with the plan, then the trader might want to change the plan on the flow itself, and then the language model, and then you override. The trader can override the planning process of the language model, and then the language model will go through the process that has been overwritten by the trader. So that is a human in the loop feature we'll be adding very soon. And of course, user acceptance testing and responsible AI. Right now, in responsible AI, I just mentioned about the evaluation tool called Accuracy is one of them. Then topic this is one of them, but also about bias. I mean, in language model, especially for financial application, biases can be, there can be destruction bias, or there can be look ahead bias. So those are the things we need to check. And the transparency as well. That means if the language model is generating some thought process to recommend based on this data, then what is the reason behind it? So those are few of the things that we will be adding in near future on top of this application. Okay, so yeah, that's it from my side. I think I have spent 25 minutes already. I'd like to take any question that you might have related to this concept, related to this tool. Okay, so as of now, there are no such questions, but feel free to use this application. Let me share this link as well in the chat. Yeah, so I think seems like there is a question in the chat. Just a second, let me see. Was. So there's a question in the chat, I think, related to fine tuning. So right now, you see, fine tuning is very costly. So fine tuning we're not doing as of now, but we have plans to do fine tuning as well, and fine tuning for finance. So there is another model called Colosseum. I'm not sure if you have heard about this before. So let me share this Colosseum model. So I've shared the link in the chat as well. So this is a model. Yeah, so this is a model which can be used for fine tuning, especially for, I mean, this is already a model, a base model, which has been fine tuned for financial data. So we can fine tune this model on top of our own data, but again, that will require some kind of an investment in infrastructure or investment in GPU. But yeah, that's a good idea. Fine tuning will make it more robust. Yes, so there's a question, what metrics are used to verify the model's recommendation? Any numbers around that? Yes, so right now there are the metrics generally when we use in any Gen AI application, we use those metrics in two different stages. One is at the model building or the application building stage, and another one is when you are trying to deploy this into production. So now here, this is the POC that we built as of now. Right now, we don't have any kind of ground truth that we can compare this, numbers again. That's why, as I mentioned, that in the next steps, the user acceptance testing is our next step. So maybe in that way, we will have some ground truth to compare our models. But then I mentioned about those two metrics that we have deployed as of now. One is the tool called accuracy, and another one is the topic adherence. So in both of them, we use LLM as a judge approach, and in both of them, in LLM as a judge approach, we are actually getting close to 95% or 96% in terms of accuracy for those two metrics. Um, but again, this is not without any reference, without any ground truth. But when we go to UAT, then we'll have the ground truth as well that we collect over a period of time, and that will be another type of evaluation that we will. Okay. So there is a question from Armin. Is the platform able to provide price prediction? So no, I mean, price prediction, of course, I mean, you see, if you go to any language model, some language model might refuse to answer, a question related to price prediction because, they might not be able to give you any investment recommendation or investment advice. Or even if use language model for price prediction, I don't recommend to use that. Because these language models, they are able to understand language data because they have been trained on language data. I mean, that you see, there is a reason why we call them as language model, because they've been trained on language data. So you should not use any price prediction problem using language model, or you should not use any tabular data prediction model, prediction task using language model. So you should use language model only for understanding language, analyzing language data like financial reports. That is all fine. Or maybe you can use language model to do descriptive statistics on top of tabular data. Like you just find out some statistical summary, but not for predictive task. But if you want to do any kind of a predictive task for price prediction, then I can share with you another model called Time GPT. Again, I'm not sure if you have heard about Time GPT or not before. Let me just share the chat. I've shared a link in the chat called Time GPT. So Time GPT, again, don't get confused with Chat GPT. So Chat GPT is a model which has been trained on language data, whereas Time GPT is a model which is trained on time series data. So if you want to do price prediction, then maybe you can try out, or maybe you can experiment with Time GPT. But again, you have to be very careful about the trustworthiness of that model. But that model you can try out because that has been trained on time series data. Okay. Yes. So Vinay has a question: will this tool open to public? Yes. Yes. So this tool is open to the public. Yeah, I have shared the link. Please try this out, and it is open to public. And I would love to take your recommendation as well, or if you have any kind of an areas for, if you find out there are any areas for improvement, please reach out to me. I'm available on LinkedIn. I'm very much responsive on LinkedIn as well. If you have any question or if you have any recommendation, please reach out, and happy to talk. Okay. Yeah. So there is a question: which LLMs are used by various agents to answer the queries? Yeah, so that is a good question again. So generally, whenever you have, I mean, you see there are so many different language models exist, right? There are about hundreds and thousands of language models that exist. So the question is, how do you select the best language model for your use case? So the selection of language model, what we have done here is we have used benchmark, and that is again the right approach anyways. So there is a benchmark by Kenzo. So Kenzo is a subsidiary of S&P Standards and Poor's, and they have already done this benchmarking for financial use cases. I have shared the link as well in the chat. And if you go through this benchmarking, so there is a column called domain knowledge. And when you sort this domain knowledge column in a descending order, you will find out Claude 3.5 Sonnet was the best model. But at the time when we built this application a few months back. And at the time, the top model was GPT-4o. Right now, at this point in time, Claude 3.7 Sonnet is the best language model for understanding financial domain. But when we built this application, it was GPT-4o, and that's what we have used for all of those agents. Okay. Shalini has a question. Are you using any LQNs for quantitative output? No, no, not as of now. Not as of now. But yes, we have some plans on using LQNs as well for quantitative outputs. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. And yes, as I said, please, use this tool. This is open to public, and feel free to share your feedback. And happy to take or any question if you have apart from this in the on LinkedIn. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice day ahead.